In the first couple of years of my life, I started out living at my grandparents' house. It was after the war. My parents couldn't really afford a house. There was a housing shortage because of the war. And so we lived in an apartment that was owned by my grandparents. So it was like across the courtyard. And being Southern California, we were outdoors quite a bit. So the going back and forth was pretty natural. After we got old, then we moved to Laurel Canyon when I was pretty young, and I lived just with my parents. But I'd gotten to know my grandparents pretty well from growing up there. My older sister's name is Karen, and she was 3 years older than me. Okay. Sometimes when Karen and I came to visit, Grandpa would show us his brittle, musty wallpaper sample books, and we would carefully go through the samples and vote on which wallpaper was the most hideous. I should interject here that he was a house painter, and that's why he had wallpaper sample books. Look, Andrea, Karen would say, they're almost all ugly, but don't you think this page is even worse than that last ugly page? Then I would say, I don't think so. The last page looked like vomit spread on the page, and this one looks more like a mud puddle with an ugly smeared flower in it. Did people actually want to put these barfy wallpapers up on their walls? Yes, they did. Now don't forget that this was back when everything was ugly, not just wallpaper. They had ugly clothes that were way out of style, and the stuff in their houses were all old and fuddy-duddy looking. I feel so sorry for Grandma and Grandpa, I said. Well, don't, Karen said matter-of-factly. I bet they didn't even know it was horrible. They're from the same time as that wallpaper book. They probably thought they were Peachy Keenerino. I just couldn't believe this. So the next time Grandpa came in from outside, I asked him, Grandpa, come look at this book for a second and tell me if you think this wallpaper's pretty. Grandpa not only said yes, but he sounded happy and told us that he used to sell that wallpaper when a customer didn't want paint. He walked away looking so happy that we were taking an interest in his wallpaper book. After he left, I said, oh my God, you were right, Karen. Grandma and Grandpa really are from the olden days. They actually can't tell the difference between paint splattered on a piece of paper and pretty wallpaper. So that was during childhood. Now I'll read another one